Popcorn and Pictures podcast.
Are we excited? Are we
Yeah.
hyped?
Yeah.
We're almost there, Jose. We're almost
wait, hold on.
there.
Wait. I'm not ready. Hold up. Okay.
Only
now I'm ready.
a few short weeks until the biggest day
Mhm.
in cinematic culture. Well, that's actually debatable, but it is a big day. It'll be the Oscars in a few weeks. And it's high time we talked about the nominees, right? On Popcorn
Woo.
and Pictures.
That's right. You didn't even.
All right.
This is the first time you didn't even mention the name of the podcast.
I was getting there.
I like it.
I was getting there. Popcorn and Pictures with your host Sam Karpinski and your co-host Jose Mendoza.
There
who's
it is.
Just chomping at the bit to talk Oscars nominees, the categories, who deserves it, who doesn't, which one shouldn't even be in the mix, etc.
It's that time of year when we finally know. This whole year we kind of faked it all, like what movies we like and we didn't like. But now, once the Oscars are actually announced and we know the winners, then we could change our opinions and be like, "Oh yeah, that was a good movie," and
That's
we go,
right.
"Oh, that was a bad movie."
That's
Yeah,
right. That's right.
this
That's right.
is-
Now we can get our opinions in line with the Academy elite and adjust it to where we look like we're on the right side of history.
I have a question for you, Sam.
Yeah.
What do the Oscars mean for you, if anything? Because obviously I make it a big deal. We're making a whole episode out of it. But
I
what do
think
they
the
mean for you?
Oscars to me are entertaining because they often involve so many things that aren't actually related to the films being honored, just because, like any award event, people have a tendency to go along with their award speeches or sometimes deviate into maybe a topic that doesn't actually really have anything to do with why they're there.
Sure.
Sometimes there's been times where I've had a much more negative view on it, but that's more just because I wasn't as in the film as I am now. And, that being said, it still can be very entertaining, even if you think they're saying something that's crazy or just, going on and on and on, and they have to play the theme music to get them off the stage, So, and I continue every year, ever since the La La Land Moonlight mix-up. Every year, I continue to hope for something crazy to happen at the Oscars. Most years are disappointing. However, every now and then you have something like, Will Smith going up on stage to slap Chris Rock, and then it's like, man, what will happen next? And usually it doesn't. We're overdue for it. We need another crazy moment. I wonder, though, if the British Film Awards stole the thunder with the guy who suffers from Tourette syndrome yelling the N-word out to,
I did hear that,
as two black actors were on stage.
That was like not a whole thing like the La La Land mix up, but that was kind of like an awkward South Park moment.
That would be so awkward, especially finding out the guy after, because probably at the moment everybody's thinking, what is this crazy racist idiot doing,
Well,
and then you find out it's like,
Did they ever acknowledge he had Tourette's in the show, or was it something people found out afterwards?
I think they did. In the show, because I'm pretty sure, I forget who it was, but I'm pretty sure somebody shouted out and said look, you may have heard some disruptive audience.
Oh, you're right. Yes.
Here's why.
The host did. He did do that.
Yeah. So, which is good, but it still sucks. And it's still crazy that they didn't delay it. Didn't have enough of a delay to bleep it out.
They probably just didn't expect it. I was going to say the Oscars for me, no one really cares about the speeches. It's kind of one of those things where, when you and I had a little Oscar party years ago, it's almost like we sit down, we kind of wait for the announcement, and then everyone talks over the speeches because no one really cares about that. I think it's kind of like a nice time of year where people celebrate the movies. For a lot of people like us, it does encourage us to go to the movies more, check out what people are talking about. And I think you said it best, but it's almost like a year in review for a handful of movies. And I will say the Oscars are pretty they don't define my taste, but it's always kind of fun to see what what's gonna go down in history.
They've been the award standards, at least domestically, for pretty much forever. So,
Hmm.
they still have that history behind them, even if they, get it wrong at times like they do.
Plenty of
But,
times.
that's like you said, kind of year in review, and it's also fun to see, okay, especially like looking back, like, what was the trying to blank? Oh yeah, Crash, like, seeing
Yeah.
like how pretty much universally reviled that movie is now,
Hmm.
you
They
know,
make mistakes. They're
compared
always
to
fun to
compared
see.
to some of the other nominees, at the time, like Brokeback Mountain and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then there's stuff like The Dark Knight, that got snubbed, which prompted
Hmm.
which not for the better, I think, but a whole revamp of a number of films that are included in the Best Picture nominees. So
You
you
don't like
never
that?
know. It's fun. What?
You don't like the like top? You don't like the 10 nominees for like best
No,
picture?
because I'm very much like quality over quantity, right? And yes,
Hmm.
are there 10 really good films or more in a year? Absolutely. But if this is truly about the best of the best, you're talking the elite of the elite, you know?
Hmm.
Like this is truly like these are 5 films that will go down in history or should, Obviously not every year is like that, but in theory that's what you're trying to get. I just think 10 films makes it like I mean, won't go into it, but I think there's several nominees in this year's race that will probably go down as forgettable. There were
Yeah.
several in last year's race, So
Hmm.
yeah, that's kind of
And
my take.
the last thing I wanted to say before we get into the actual like list is you kind of bring up you kind of bring up a good point because I notice with the Oscars it's typically like a handful of movies are always recognized even if they don't necessarily have the best
Yeah,
I guess like department. So for
quality.
example, like
Yeah,
for example, this year it's like Frankenstein, Hamnet, one battle after another. Like they're going to get all the nominees. We kind of talked about that one movie. What's it called?
well, yeah.
Sorry,
Just
baby.
just a quick aside, and then I'll move off the topic so we can go going. But I also think like if you do that for the films, you should also open up the other categories as well for more films.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly. Yeah.
if you're gonna do that, then make it across the board. Don't do it just because, which it was when they did it. It was a reaction to a mistake they made, an
Mhm.
overreaction. In my
Right.
opinion.
Right.
So
All right.
I'll
Cool.
get
Well,
off. I'll get off the pulpit for that.
without further ado, let's get into it.
What are
Let's.
the
I'm kind of going.
nominees?
I'm going through a list. I'm looking at NPR, but I'm going to kind of go from the bottom to the top. So what I got
Oh.
is where are we?
Well, wait a minute. Should I go to NPR because I'm on Hollywood Reporter? Shout
um.
out to THR.
Yeah, go to NPR, and I'm gonna go check out the achievement in visual effects, which we got Avatar: Fire and Ash. We got F1,
Okay.
Jurassic World. Sorry, I'm laughing because I hear you
So,
just typing aggressively.
well, you didn't give me time.
Sorry.
I had to
Sorry.
adjust.
I'm sorry.
Now
I'm
I'm
sorry.
having to search for it. Like, where is the best visual effects? I can't find it. I don't know where it is, Jose.
Well,
Where
we got
is it?
Command F. It's at the very bottom.
It is.
Yeah,
We are not looking at the same thing.
NPR.org.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'm going back to the Hollywood Reporter.
That's fine. I'll go
And
back
where
up.
I will adjust as needed. So best visual effects, which is what I was on with the Hollywood Reporter to begin with, by the way. So we
Sorry.
wasted all that time, wasted the audience members' time, just because you had to have it. The NPR.
Just admit it,
Hollywood Reporter, an NPR isn't even a movie, isn't even a cinematic entertainment industry media publication. It's about just regular current events and news.
I just hit the first link that I saw. But anyways, okay.
All right. Well, best visual effects. Continue.
We got Avatar: Fire and Ash, F1, Jurassic World: Rebirth, The Lost Bus, and Sinners. I think this is an interesting category because I never heard of the film The Lost Bus until the nominees came
Interesting.
out.
I,
Have you
I
heard of it?
had I had heard about it partially because I was listening to a podcast with Matthew McConaughey, and he was promoting it at the time because I think it was like a week out before being released on Apple TV. So yeah, I had heard of it. It sounds interesting. it also sounds, frankly, like a story we've seen before. Obviously, it's a true story, but
Mhm.
yeah, I can't speak to the effects of the film. I will try and see it before the big night. But let's be honest. Do we really think The Lost Bus, no matter how good it looks, is going to beat a category which has things like Avatar 3 and Jurassic World 7 in it, let
No.
alone F1 and Sinners, which both have excellent effects in their own right,
Yeah.
albeit not as bombastic or spectacle heavy.
So last night I did turn on Lost Bus and I saw the first like 15 minutes of it. And
Was the
for those who
fire
don't know,
convincing? Were you convinced that the fires were going to jump out?
well, for those who don't know, it's about the Paradise Fire that happened back in 2018. And
In
McConaughey's
California?
yeah, and McConaughey's a bus driver, and that's all I know. I didn't even get to the point where like I don't know if he's like saving people, but the VFX
I
I
tell
did
you
see
one
when the
thing.
fire
I
actually
know.
starts did not look very good. Did not look very convincing. It was,
Ooh,
yeah,
that's too bad. Wow. Now
mhm,
I'll really have to see it.
yeah.
See if it's a thing. I really also like don't want to watch Jurassic World 7, but I'm tempted to just because it's nominated. But I
Mhm.
just loathe that that franchise continues to exist when it's just not good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
There's plenty of franchises you can say about that, but like that movie is the same movie pretty much every single time, you know.
I think I
So
have to remind myself because I think this is the one where I mean they've kind of been going this direction, but it's not even about dinosaurs anymore. It's becoming about genetically mutated dinosaurs becoming
well, yeah,
monsters.
the previous you know, entry didn't even feature the dinosaurs as the main threat.
No, it was the bumblebees, the
Yeah.
lotus.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
What do you think is gonna win? I'm saying. I mean, it has to be Avatar, right?
Yeah. Well, actually, I take that back. I could see um
F1.
no, not F1, Jurassic World winning.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I
Just
think
people
Avatar is the
love
obvious
dinos,
choice.
you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I yeah.
Um.
Yeah, I mean I think it's the obvious choice, but I'll be honest, and this is a hot take. I don't think the special effects in 3 were, I mean they weren't bad, but they weren't as good as I've seen in the other avatars, for example.
Yeah. Sure. I agree there, but I feel like it's just kind of a. It's just like the easy one to give. Next, we got sound, which is we got F1, we got Frankenstein, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and one that I don't think you've seen yet is Surratt. Um,
No, but I will be seeing that when it gets a domestic wide release in, I think it's in the next couple of weeks, if I remember
is that
correctly.
right? Okay, I got an early screening and I thought it was out already, but I wasn't too sure what that
No,
was all
because I
about.
was actually at the theater last week and saw like a poster for it and also an ad for it as
Okay.
well. So I
Um,
think, oh, it's actually playing right now. I'll have to go see it maybe next week.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
fantastic.
So I've seen all four of the movies, the other movies, but I can't attest to that one. Have you seen all of the movies in
I
that
have,
category? Okay.
I have, and
And what's your take?
I, I mean, for me, it's kind of a toss up between Surratt and F1.
Yeah.
Yeah, F1. I mean, F1.
I
Like,
was
I
gonna
wasn't
say
a huge fan.
F1 would be my choice of those four for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
usually the loudest movie, gets the win in
Yeah.
some cases.
Well, it's also, I mean, yeah, there's a truth to that, but I mean, it also is like that's something, right? That's like tangible, that like a lot of people know what like a racetrack sounds like, you know.
Right. Sure.
So
Yeah,
they,
makes sense.
they you can recognize it. So I think when it's convincing, especially since that movie is whole predicated on giving you that experience of being
Hmm.
on the racetrack or next to the racetrack and seeing it, I think that's very important if it nails it. It may not be as sexy, as something like Sinners, which also has excellent sound design, but does, a few more unique things. But it's, I'd say, flawless in its sound
Sure.
design. Also
Yeah,
has
I
a great
agree.
soundtrack.
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna say Surratt. I think a lot of it is the soundtrack that is probably the reason why it's here. But it's a movie that's very sound heavy because it's about ravers, you know.
Right.
So beyond the music, though, it's got cool moments where, like, someone's trying to work on a speaker, and like while people are communicating, kind of hear like the speaker in the background being worked on. And I can't go too much into spoilers why like it's a good sounding movie towards the end of the film, but I think that's my choice,
You want to
just
say it?
'cause-
I'll take away my headphones so you can say
Yeah.
it to the people who
Okay.
have heard.
I'll do that when I'm done. But
All right. Cool.
yeah.
Go for it.
So basically, for the viewers, large explosions, and they sound fantastic. Kind of throws everyone off in the theater, and all that just sounds amazing. It's kind of a war movie towards the end of it, which is just fantastic. I'm trying to give him the thumbs up, but he's not looking.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Sorry.
You're looking away, and I was
Okay.
about to knock on my laptop monitor, thinking that was going to work.
Yeah, that would have come through.
Yeah. Next, we got production design. We got Frankenstein. We got
Okay.
Hamnet, Marty Supreme. We got One Battle After Another, and Sinners.
Why don't you? I think it would be good for the casual viewer. Give a quick synopsis of what production design entails.
Yeah, would love to. Pretty much has to do with the look of the film beyond the technical part. So, excluding costumes, excluding, I guess, like the cinematography, it has to do with like the set designing, I guess props in some cases. If you notice, a lot of these movies are period pieces, which are the type of films that usually get nominated for this
Yeah.
category. But yeah, it kind of goes with the actual like artistic vision of the film that has to do with the area that surrounds the characters.
Yeah.
So in my situation, I don't know. I think Frankenstein might have the.
Yeah, I'd
Mhm.
probably say if it were me, I'd say Frankenstein followed by One Battle After Another. Followed by
Really, I was gonna
Sinners.
say that
Yeah.
movie. I thought that was like, as much as I love that movie,
Yeah.
not a lot about the sets or the production design made me.
It's not something poppy, like
Mhm.
something like Frankenstein or Sinners, but I don't know, it just fits the vibe of the film very well. I feel like, if that makes sense.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
My question is, so the end of the movie where they're, it's minor spoilers, but there's like a car chase that happens, and there's like rolling hills. Do you think that's part of production design? Probably, right? Scout location.
I
I wonder.
feel like that because that is in a way a set piece,
Yeah.
So I would say so, which I mean that's my like favorite shot of the entire
Yeah.
movie. I mean that's just like such a great way of using an environment, like a real life environment, to like ramp up the tension like
For sure.
so well. So yeah,
And I guess
I would say so.
And I guess it is someone's job to like actually find that place, like to make sure
Yeah.
that actually
Yeah,
works. So,
location
I guess
scouts. Yeah.
For me, I think it's still Frankenstein. I forgot what scene it was, but it's where Oscar Isaac is kind of what's like, I guess, grave digging. There's a better word for
Oh
it.
yeah.
But
Yeah. I mean he's
looking for
grave
bodies,
digging.
basically.
he's grave
And,
digging. That's what he's doing.
Technically, and he goes to like I guess like a mortician place, and just like the whole set is like fantastic. I think.
Yeah, and I'd say also his laboratory where he builds Frankenstein or creates
Mhm.
Frankenstein
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
I think that's really
There's, like-
good, along with the like cellar or sewer,
Yeah,
where he kind of chains up Frankenstein upon his
yeah, that's right.
birth.
As much as I don't think that's like Guillermo's best film, there's like moments of that in the film where like I always kind of wonder like how does someone just have that much creativity? Obviously not Guillermo, but like people come up with that sets. Moving forward? Question mark.
Moving forward,
Best songs. I don't know if we want to get into this too heavily, but we got
well,
Train
I'll tell you
Dreams.
what, I've only seen, well, really heard one of them, so I
I
have
see you.
almost zero expertise on
Mhm.
it, and also like I haven't even heard of Diane Warren Relentless. What the
Yeah,
heck is that? Like because it says music and lyric by Diane Warren, is that like a documentary?
yeah, it's a documentary.
uh,
Yeah, I
Feels like
haven't
a
heard
cheap
it.
or so, but
Yeah, I think Golden would
You
win,
there?
but
Oh no, we lost
I
Jose.
th-
Hopefully he comes back. We're going to take a brief pause.
oh no.
All right, welcome back. We apologize for those technical difficulties. The network gremlins were out
Mhm.
tonight. They were interfering with Mr. Mendoza's stream. It was terrible. They were trying to prevent us from talking about movies, but we have persevered,
Mm.
and we are still here to talk about movies.
Yep.
So, Jose, we were talking about the best original song
Yeah.
category in the Oscars.
Kind of a fun category because I feel like you never actually have to watch the movies; you just have to hear the song, right? We were talking about Diane Warren. Will not be watching that. I do have to say, I'm happy that Train Dreams got a nomination, mainly because of the musician Nick Cave, who I enjoy quite a bit. Um, Fantastic musician, never got
Yeah.
recognized at the Oscars despite making so much music for movies. So pretty cool.
All right.
Continuing forward, we got original score, Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and then Sinners. First snub of the night, in my opinion, with Marty Supreme not being nominated in this category, like
Huge
big
snub.
time.
Huge
Yeah, big
snub.
time.
I mean that movie, like the soundtrack and score is like woven into the DNA of the film
Mm-hmm.
so much.
100%.
And if it's a Best Picture nominee, how
Yeah.
could that not be in there? Granted, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, well, actually, I take that back. The one I would take issue with is, well, actually both. I mean, Begonia was fun, but I wouldn't say it was like exceptional. The one I would take the most issue with is Hamnet, though.
I don't
It's
remember a lot of
just,
music from Hamnet. I agree.
yeah, well, it's just very conventional as applied to the script. So I don't know. It just, yeah, especially in light of things like Marty Supreme and heck, even Avatar. Like the score is great in Avatar. Like,
Huh.
I mean, yeah, I
Um,
I think there absolutely were snubs in this category. To your
I'm
point,
I'm a big music guy, and I kind of disagree. I didn't get a chance to watch all of Begonia all the way through, but I thought that had a great soundtrack. Um, with Alexander Splat, the guy who made Frankenstein, he's always nominated. Again, Hamnet, I don't remember a whole lot. I feel like Sinners is the obvious choice, but even then, in hindsight, I think the best soundtrack was One Battle After Another from Johnny Greenwood, who, if you don't know, is a band member on Radiohead. So kind of a cool thing. But
Radiohead.
when I was rewatching the movie the other night, it's just like such an avant-garde soundtrack that if you like hear it without the context of the movie, you would not even think that that music would belong in the scene that it's presented or I guess playing with in the film. It's such a great
Yeah,
soundtrack. It's
I
like
agree.
goofy.
I
It's
think
out there.
as much as I love the Marty Supreme score and soundtrack, I think I'm with you on this one. I think One Battle After Another.
Mhm.
Yeah, it works so well in conjunction with
Yeah.
that film.
The one thing that comes to mind is when Leo and Benicio del Toro are like kind of running through Benicio's home. And I don't know if you remember, but it's like this like kind of quirky like little piano tune. It sounds like it could be in a Wes Anderson movie. It's just like such a great composition.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Um,
it feeds into the tension. I feel
yeah,
like in some of the scenes,
absolutely.
the aforementioned car chase. I mean, the score for
Yeah,
that is also works so well in enhancing the tension of the scene.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
We agree.
Next, we got Makeup, which we got Frankenstein, Kokuho, Sinners, Smash Machine, and The Ugly Stepsister. Kind of a cool category because there are two films in here that, or I guess three technically, that did not get recognized anywhere else, which is Smash Machine, which is like whatever, Kokuho, and The Ugly Stepsisters. I was gonna watch Kokuho tomorrow. I'm really excited about it, but
I don't
yeah.
think I'm familiar with that one. Was that?
It's a slice of not even a slice of life. It follows a whole career of there's a Japanese term for it, but like essentially an actor. It's like a 3 hour epic. The has to do with like
So
the
it's Rental
tourism.
Family.
Yeah, sure. Um, it's a 3-hour epic, which is one sounds cool. Second, why I want to go see it in theaters because I don't know if I could do that at home, but I've been hearing great things about it. I'm excited to see it. But
Cool.
like,
Yeah,
again,
I'll
no
bump it
no
up.
comment on the makeup there. I guess I'm kind of indifferent here. I think Frankenstein's going to win again, but I do want to give a shout out to The Ugly Stepsister, which I highly recommend, Sam, if you haven't seen it. But pretty good.
It's
Pretty
too
good.
ugly for me.
Yeah. It's do you know what it's about?
Yeah, I do, and it's too ugly for me. I can't watch it. It's too disturbing.
It's a retelling of Cinderella, but through the perspective of one of the ugly stepsisters, and it kind of sympathizes with her, making her almost like the black sheep of the family. They're not necessarily rude to Cinderella, but it's almost like she tries so hard to, be the best sister, and it's just like always falls on her. It's a great movie. I forget where the country of origin's from. Um, who do you
I
think's
will.
gonna?
I will have to
Do you have a
check it out.
preference?
I think Frankenstein as well. I
Okay.
mean, basically every shot of Jacob Elordi as the monster. You know,
Mhm.
but
Cast
we're see. I
casting.
need to watch. The rest of those.
Sure, sure. Casting. It's a brand new category. Don't really know how they're kind of basing this off of, but we got Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Secret Agent, and Sinners. Uh, yeah, I don't really have a, I don't really know what they're basing it off of. That's kind of where I don't know what they're gonna vote for. Um, I mean, I guess One Battle After Another because my favorite performances came from that movie this year, like Sean Penn and Benicio del Toro. But again, I don't really know. I kind of hope during the event, there's actually one thing I am looking forward to, like if they're going to announce
Yeah.
how they go about choosing the nominees and like what they're looking for exactly.
Yeah, I'm gonna go a little different. I don't think One Battle After Another is not worthy. Like I think it absolutely could be justified in winning, but I think Marty Supreme should get it just because
Hmm.
for one thing, I mean Timothy Chalamet is incredible. All of the actors and actresses fit their roles to a T. I feel like I mean Kevin O'Leary obviously isn't even
Yep.
an actor, and they pulled him and were able to like fit his vibe easily into the story. And not one of those things that's like always is it distracting that they're clearly not acting. It wasn't. Maybe some
Yeah.
of that was just because the role was very much written to be in the similar style as the public persona he gives off in real life. But even beyond that, I think just what's her name? I'm blanking out on the actress who
Uh,
plays Marty's
yeah. I can't think of it
uh,
right now.
on again, off again lover. Um, yeah, I
Is that her
can't. I
name?
apologize. Anyway, I think for me, like I had never seen her in anything before, and I would imagine a lot of people this will be their first experience with her
Mhm.
as well. She was phenomenal in
Yeah,
it.
she
Even
was.
all the different little characters. I mean, you had Tyler the Creator in there as
Yep.
well. Like, yeah. So I feel like it should be that just because it kind of went against some of the grain of what you would do in a conventional movie, and it worked exceptionally well. There's not a weak link in that cast as far as I'm concerned.
Her name is Odessa Zion, who she was pretty fantastic in the film.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, you bring up good points. I forgot that Marty Supreme does kind of have those, I guess, non-actor performances, which is always fun. Yeah, I could see it go. I mean, I guess again, I don't know how they're basing this off of, but I guess Marty Supreme or One Battle After Another would be my picks.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Best International, we got Secret Agent from Brazil. It was just an accident, France.
Are we skipping to some of the more I'm just looking like we haven't covered like costume design, cinematography. Are we still getting to
Oh,
those?
yeah, I'll come to it.
Okay.
Should we?
All right.
You want to
Sorry.
skip a few of those or what?
I just feel like best international film we start getting into more of the nitty gritty. But up to you. We it
Okay.
actually might be good to break it up. Let's do it.
Let's
break
okay,
it
you
for a
sure? I
bit.
could we could scrap all this and kind of like pretend like it didn't happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, should we continue with costumes?
Uh, I think it doesn't matter. Whatever you
Okay,
want to do, as long as we're covering every feature, it might
sure.
be a good job to break up the technical stuff with the non technical.
Okay,
So
okay. So
okay,
I'll just
here we
pretend like
go.
this conversation didn't happen.
Here we go.
So next we got best international feature. We got Secret Agent. It was just an accident. Sentimental value. Sarat and the voice of Hint Rajab. Um, a lot of great international films this year. So much so that I thought maybe four of these would be nominated for Best Picture. Didn't happen, but
Well,
there is the weakest one, which I think is Secret Agent, which I know you saw the other day, and I'm curious on what you think about it because I thought that was the most overrated one in this category.
oh, by far. I mean, it's also the most, which we'll get to later on, but it's also the most overrated Best Picture nominee for sure.
Yes.
Look, it's very like well made, like shot very well. The acting is it's fine. There's not really any issues there, but the entire story just meanders along, and you never really get invested. I felt like in the main character.
Yep.
So yeah, and especially comparing, we have sentimental value. It was just an accident. You've seen the other two, and by accounts, they're good as well. It
Hmm.
just feels like, yeah, that I don't know. It's kind of crazy. I was talking with another buddy about it too, and it was like, why is this the one that you know got picked
Yeah.
as the international best picture? It's just kind of crazy. Again, it's not like it's a bad film. It's just not particularly good.
Well, months ago, I thought it was just an accident would have been kind of like the obvious choice here, and I thought that would also be in
Exactly.
consideration for the best picture. Um, and then Surratt, there was kind of rumors going around that that might also be up there. The thing about the Secret Agent is you're right; it meanders, pacing is really bad. Um, I remember for the first like 15 minutes of the movie, you get that opening tension scene where he's at a gas station and there's like a dead body, and no one's like really taking care of the dead body that's been there for a few days. And then it jumps to the next scene where there's like a shark in a I guess like a lab somewhere. Scientists are dissecting
Yeah,
it.
the movie. I think in your letterbox review, right? You said like it was like, oh, this is gonna be like a really exciting kind of
Yeah,
wild movie based on
it
the setup, and it
it
just
lays the groundwork
dies
for it. Yeah,
after that. It just dies. It
yeah,
truly does not get really exciting again until like the last 45 minutes, half hour of the film. You
it's
know,
a, sandwich movie. It's like got great bread, but the in
yeah,
between is
true.
not very
No,
good.
honestly, I mean, and I'll be honest too. I was struggling to stay awake for some of it. Part of that was just the fact that I saw it at like 10:30 at night. But
And it's a
I've
long one
watched
too.
plenty of movies. I've watched plenty of movies that late, also equally as long, and not had that issue. So I think
The
that's the worst
pacing.
sin of a movie can make is be boring, and I think at times it's boring.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. The other four are fantastic, though. I keep saying the word fantastic. I feel like Nathan Fielder, but yeah, sentimental
What's
value is
wrong
up
with
there
that?
for. I don't want. I don't want to embrace my inner awkwardness. I guess. I think my favorite of these films, and I hate to say it because I haven't seen it yet, and I would love to talk to you about it, but it would be Sarat. But the thing is, the other four, excluding obviously the Secret Agent, I'm not counting that one. I think I would not be bad choices. I know it was just an
Yeah,
accident and
and I
sentimental
think like
value.
again, we're kind of get into it. I think it was just an accident, and Samuel Value are like two of my favorite films of the year.
Yeah, I was about
So
to say. Mhm.
I think yeah, it's just I mean Samuel Value is also nominated for Best Picture, like
Yeah,
Secret Agent, but I mean you touched on when it was just an accident was kind of making the initial rounds domestically like it well even before that at like the different film festivals like it was getting a lot of like positive buzz like this is going to be a major Oscar contender and having seen it I agreed which kind of just makes it crazy to me that it I think it only got like one nomination right
I aside from this,
yeah
it got two.
yeah
Well,
oh I
like
got to
it got original screenplay, I believe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't got
So,
to that yet, but I think
but
it
it
gets to be
definitely
honest.
was sounding like at the beginning, like, oh, this is best picture material, and then I guess Secret Agent stole the thunder. Why I
Yep,
do not know.
the inferior movie.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, like I said,
there's always one.
as long as Secret Agent doesn't win, I'm kind of happy with whatever else gets it. Um,
Yeah, I think that's a fair take.
Best achievement in film editing, we got F1, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Um, I think my choice would be F1 just because as much as I think again that's kind of the inferior movie in these bunches. I think the editing really does kind of make that movie tolerable, especially during the action set pieces of the racing. It's pretty well done.
Tolerable.
Hey,
You were
hey,
ready to
what can I
hate
say?
it.
No, my issue with the movie is that the scenes outside of the racing were just so surface level and so
Oh yeah, very
uninteresting.
very conventional. But
Yeah,
we're getting to kind of the more specifics of F1, but I do I think agree with you just because the editing is important for that because again the point of the movie is to kind of simulate what it would be like to be on the racetrack or near
yeah,
the racetrack. So
and it does
absolutely,
such
I
a good job
agree.
on that.
And you think
Hmm.
of you think of it like swapping between the third person perspective and first person perspective with some of the
Hmm.
shots. So yeah, I
Yeah,
agree. I think I'd be good with that. I'm
yep.
actually just a quick aside. It's funny to me that sentimental value is on there because that's like the one thing I didn't like about
I remember you
sentimental
saying
value.
that. I remember you
Yeah,
saying
was the
that.
editing, which is just like a stylistic choice. So it's not like I can only be so mad. Like it's
Yeah.
they're just doing what they prefer to do, what the director wanted. So it's just
Mm,
his style, but very sharp cuts. Just didn't feel like at times it flowed very well into the next scene because of those sharp cuts.
sure.
But you know, uh,
I
it
think
it's still a good film.
one battle after another wouldn't be a bad choice either, considering that I'll be like Sinners and even Sentimental Value kind of follow a like a number of characters, but it's one battle after another. Like especially at the start of the movie, it's almost like you're time jumping in such like a giant period of time in these people's lives, and it does it so well, and it communicates it so excellently that like you're able to follow along. So that'd be my second choice. Quite frankly, I think there was some pretty good editing in that film.
Yeah,
Um, yeah. Next, we got documentary feature. I don't think we're gonna spend a whole lot of time here, but yeah, we got the Alabama Solution.
I
Come see me.
yeah.
Have you seen any of
I'm sorry.
these?
Continue.
No. Well, yeah, we got Alabama Solution. Come see me in the good light. Cutting through rocks. Mister Nobody against Putin and the Perfect Neighbor. Have you seen any of these?
Nope, not one. I
No.
should probably watch Perfect Neighbor while I still have
Yeah,
Netflix currently, but yeah, not one. I mean, I'll be honest, like documentaries like
they're
are
not your
never
thing.
a high priority for me
Yeah,
in, complete like watching them before the Oscars just because like I mean, don't get me wrong, like there's some very good documentaries and like it's absolutely a part of film, but it doesn't grab me in the same way that like narrative driven features do.
sure. The thing about just to keep this short, I don't really ever know what they're factoring when choosing these nominations. Are they choosing like the actual filmmaking of the documentary, like what it took to actually film it? Like, was it the editing, or maybe the archive footage that they found, or is it like the subject matter? Because one, not sorry, one battle after another. My perfect neighbor or the perfect neighbor. When if you see it, it's not a movie that has like great editing or anything. It's just a lot of archive footage creating a narrative of literally a Karen in a Floridian neighborhood. And I feel like it's up there because of the subject matter, and it's kind of an interesting subject matter. But again, I wouldn't say it's like a feat in filmmaking for documentary. You know what I'm saying? Does that
Yeah,
make
no,
sense?
I gotcha. I got
Yeah,
you. I mean, I think like the best documentaries tend to feel like there's a story being told, i.e., the real life story, but like in a way that almost makes it feel like a narrative.
yeah,
And kind of draws you in that way, which like I've heard The Perfect Neighbor sounds that way, but I can't speak to the rest of them, so I'll take your word on that.
Okay. I've seen two of these, and I have to say they're both great. The Perfect Neighbor and Alabama Solution. Alabama Solution is like kind of this inside look on what. It's funny because I feel like in movies, speaking of movies, they kind of create this like image of what prison is, but the Alabama Solution actually shows you what life in prison is, and it looks incredibly miserable. Which
Yeah.
whatever. I'm not going to talk too much about it. If we want, we can make an episode about that documentary. But anyways, achievement in costume design. We got Avatar: Fire and Ash, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, and Sinners.
It's tough.
Kind of a category that I don't ever really care about, quite frankly.
Yeah, I mean, I would X
Yeah.
out Avatar because a lot of it is, half the film. I mean, most of the film's protagonists aren't even wearing costumes; they're being green screened.
I never thought about
Yeah.
that. You're right.
Right.
Yeah.
Frankenstein is good. I get that. Hamnet is good. I get that. Marty Supreme, Sinners. All four of those take place in the past in a different historical period.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me really to choose between one. I think the most striking is Frankenstein.
hmm
The most like convincing. Well, maybe not. The convincing is the right word. Like the most like I don't know, like feels accurate to the time is Sinners, but
Yeah.
that's kind of a toss up. Honestly, I kind of like you. I could care less.
Yeah. I would. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of a toss up for me. It'd be kind of nice to maybe one battle after another being replaced for Avatar because Leo does kind of have an iconic image in that
That's
film,
true.
like the bathrobe.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you're completely right. It's kind of is weird that Avatar's in there and one battle after
Yeah.
another isn't. And I mean, even beyond Leo, I mean, sure, it's a military costume, right? So it's not like it's crazy, but like Sean Penn owns his role so much, like it's hard to see him without that, especially
Yeah,
when
well-
he's walking with a limp.
Well, even Benicio del Toro's got like his jumpsuit on with
Yeah.
like his
Yeah,
tank
you're
top.
right, with
Yeah.
his gi. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a lot of iconic costumes like for these characters.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah. I'm kind of like now that we're talking about it, I'm kind of bummed it's not in there, but
Get
Anyways.
Avatar out of there.
get it out of there.
Yeah.
We got cinematography. We got Frankenstein, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, Sinners, and Train Dreams. I recently saw Sinners, and I kind of forget how great that
It was
movie
your
looks.
first time.
Second time, yeah, second time watching it. But as much as I didn't think the movie was as great as people are making it, there's shots in in that movie that makes me really wish that it was much better than it was. It's kind of like those sweeping landscapes where they're driving through Missouri, driving through the cotton fields, and you just see like the giant clouds in the sky. It's just such a beautiful looking movie. So I think that would be my choice, considering that I don't really like that movie a whole lot.
Interesting. Interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
and plus there's that whole.
I haven't. Okay, go
I
ahead.
was gonna say there's that whole campaign of like the different aspect ratios and like why it needs to be seen in IMAX. Like if you remember that very early on.
Yeah, for sure. And I love IMAX, so
Yeah.
yeah. Train Dreams is the only one I haven't seen. I'm sure the cinematography is great on that. But I haven't seen it yet, so I can't speak for sure. But of the four right now, I would say, yeah, probably Sinners or, gosh, it's tough. Probably One Battle After Another. After that,
Really? Okay.
yeah. I think
didn't
just,
think
I mean, you think about like when they're moving through the streets, like in the midpoint of the film, and he's hopping between like rooftops.
That's
the
true.
car chase we've already talked about. Even even the car chase early on not car chase really, but early on in the film,
The bank robbery
when
scene. Yeah.
yeah, exactly, the bank robbery. So yeah, I go with that as my number two.
Yeah. Okay. There's a lot of great shots, like a lot of great aerial shots too, which you kind
Yeah.
of forget about.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like again, we're getting to it. Like my One Bow After Another is not my favorite film of the year, but it's so entertaining, and part of the reason it's so entertaining is because all the craft works in service
Yeah.
of the script and in entertaining you. Like it truly is like, put aside like the subtext of some of the stuff, like its first job, that movie's first job is just to entertain you
Yeah,
and have fun. You know,
for sure. All right, we're getting close. We got animated feature, which I haven't seen a whole lot. We got Arco, we got Elio, K-pop Demon Hunters, Little Amelie, or the character of Rain, and then Zootopia 2. Not a lot
I
of
have
great.
seen one of those.
Nice. I've seen 2, and I have
Nice.
not seen the one that you've seen.
Yeah,
I've
we're
heard
have to
Zootopia was.
watch. Zootopia 2 is like fun and great, like it's really good, but I don't know. Like best animated feature, I always go back and forth. Like, are we judging it on just the animation, or are we judging it on the totality of the movie itself and just happens to be animated?
I think the latter. Um, I don't know. You're right. It does
Because I
bring
mean,
good
you've had
points.
like Toy Story 3, Up, and
You know
other
what?
animated films in the past been nominated for Best Picture as well.
But then there's kind of that because like I was gonna say it'd be the latter, but if that's the case, then why isn't Avatar on there? Not that's a great movie or anything, but that is like entirely animated
Well,
film,
that
and
was
the
like the
animation
debate
is
with
great.
like the Lion King remake,
Yeah,
photorealistic remake from a few years back. I think Avatar's a little different because there's still a lot of human actors,
yeah.
characters in there. So I would, yeah, a great deal of the movie is animated, but I wouldn't say that it's like a fully animated film. So
Interesting.
I think
I don't
that's a
know.
disqualifier for me. You know,
Okay, I disagree. We'll have to argue about this now, but like for
we
me, it's
can't
like that movie
argue. We're
wouldn't
gonna go toe to
exist.
toe. We're gonna
Yeah,
hash it out. You're
that movie would
wrong.
not exist without animation. Is my argument. But anyways, I guess my choice is
Well, yeah, but
K-pop.
it's not a fully animated film. It also wouldn't exist without some other filmmaking techniques as well. So
But then to that argument, a few years ago, what was that movie called? Marcel with her, well, with Marcel the Shell with
Marcel the
shoes
Shell
on.
with shoes on.
That's a movie that's barely animation, and it's
Yeah,
mostly
I would
just
agree with
like
that too. I would X that
yeah,
out as well. You know,
it's kind of a blurred, it's
blurred lines.
yeah, it's like gray area.
Yeah,
But I
it's a good
guess
area.
it'd be K-pop Demon Hunters because that's the only one I've seen except from Elio, which wasn't very good.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised Elio's on there.
Yeah,
To be honest, I mean, again, I haven't seen it either, but it just sounded so unremarkable.
yeah.
Like yeah. Anyway,
Best
moving
adapted, we
on.
got Begonia, Frankenstein, Hamnet, One Battle After Another, and Train Dreams. Uh,
So
I'm
I
curious on what you
have
think because
read
you're.
none of the books that these are based on. To be clear.
I thought you said you read the screenplay. I was like,
No,
I didn't
yeah,
realize you
no,
do
I have read.
that.
Well, that too. I haven't read any of the screenplays, but you know what? I didn't need to because I watched it unfold on screen
There
in
you
the
go.
spoken word.
Nice. Um, I guess based off, I don't know. I guess One Battle After Another.
Yeah. It's hard. It's hard to say.
Yeah,
My gut would say Frankenstein, but that's just because it's the source material I'm most familiar with. So yeah, hard to say. We're probably not the best judges of what is in fact the best adapted screenplay.
yeah. I
Although
get.
I will say, One Battle After Another, I can almost guarantee that the lines "I was raped in reverse" and "Semen
That
Demon"
was really
were
funny.
in the
Yeah.
original source material, and that alone, because those lines are so hilarious in the context. I mean, the first line is just insane, like raped in reverse, period. But it's also so hysterically funny. Like I don't know, like One Battle After Another is definitely the most quotable of those movies
Mhm.
for sure. So I guess in some way, the very fact that it probably has made me not even interested in looking at what it was adapted from because
Mhm.
it's probably a fairly loose adaptation, I think. Maybe that's the differentiator of those
I
for
was gonna
me.
I was gonna say the term raped in reverse, while offensive, it does work in the movie, and it's meant to be funny, and it's not offensive, and
Yeah,
it is
you're
pretty great.
you're
It's
laughing at the insanity that somebody would say
so
that.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, we got best original screenplay. We got Blue Moon. It was just an accident. It comes back. Marty Supreme, Sentimental Value, and Sinners. Uh, I think I'd go with Marty Supreme just because I love how outrageous that movie is, and I love the. Again, I've said it many times, but I like how the Safdie brothers are really good at. Well, specifically Josh Safdie is really good at like making Jenga movies. It's like you start off with a Jenga tower, you keep pulling blocks off, and you're just like ready for something to collapse. And yeah, he does a really good job at that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No, I agree. It is tough for me because I really like 3 of the 5 categories, and I haven't seen Blue Moon, so I can't speak to that. But it was just an accident. I think builds the tension very well. Marty Supreme has that Jenga effect to what you were
hmm
saying. Sentimental Value, just the script flows like very well and is very like
that's true.
believable. And even though it's not like an application where most people can relate to, i.e., most people aren't, a family of actors or film industry people. I think the
hmm
dynamics, the personal, familial dynamics within the film, everybody can relate to, and that's a
Yeah,
credit to the screenplay.
yeah, that's a good point.
So, yeah, it's tough. I probably agree with you. Give you an edge with Marty Supreme, just barely, but I wouldn't have a problem with any of those 3 winning.
Do you think you're gonna watch Blue Moon anytime soon?
Yeah, I'm gonna try after this week. I'm gonna try and cram more uh, the following week. I'm
Okay.
fortunately pre-booked this weekend, so I won't really have time. But
Blue
I'll
Moon
probably
is
watch.
a
I'll probably watch one of the Oscar nominees on Sunday night.
okay. I was gonna say Blue Moon is like a movie that purely rides on the screenplay. There's like no action set piece. Like obviously, why would there be? But it's
Just
just
a dialogue heavy.
there's a point in the movie where dialogue happens and it just is endless dialogue, which sounds boring, but the screenplay does a fantastic job of keeping you engaged. And that's also thanks to what's his name, Ethan Hawke, who does a pretty good performance. I don't know. I
Yeah.
think it's you could either be immersed in Ethan Hawke or you could just be totally bored by the film.
We'll
So
find out.
we'll find out. I thought it was
Once
okay.
in a blue moon.
I thought it was like a 6 out of 10 movie.
You
We got
didn't even
directing.
the joke was that corny, huh? You couldn't even acknowledge it.
I did like it. I did like it. I should have acknowledged it. I'm sorry. I was
I
just so
see how
excited
it
to read
is.
the. I was just so excited to read the directors.
All
Um,
right, best.
we direction or best directing is Josh Safdie, Paul Thomas Anderson for One Battle After Another, of course Marty Supreme for the aforementioned director, Joachim Trier, Ryan Coogler, and then Chloe Zhao, who is probably the worst decision on this category. Again, I don't think Hamnet is a good movie. I think it's a very boring movie.
It's a good movie, but not a great movie, which we're getting into why later
I
on.
was I remember one conversation we had in our previous episodes was like she was the token female director that has to be on there. I recently saw If I Had Legs That Kick You, and that wouldn't be a bad choice to put up there if you're looking for like a female director. I will say there's a
Yeah, I mean,
better films
I
out there,
reject
but
obviously the premise that there has to be a female director, but
I
you're
agree.
probably right. There's probably several worthy female directors,
Yeah,
more worthy than Chloe Zhao, if you were gonna have that, as a informal requirement.
we
Uh,
mentioned it, but even Sorry Baby, Eva Victor, I think is her
oh
name.
yeah,
Even her inclusion would be like a good
yeah. It's
substitution.
kind of crazy that that film got almost no love.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
we can talk about that snub in a future
Mm.
episode.
Yeah, let's keep it going. We got
Oh,
supporting.
but best director. I was just gonna say I would probably give the edge to Marty Supreme.
Okay.
Um, just because I feel like it's such a like a singular vision, you know, and like
Sure.
Safdie kind of has that, like you said, it's kind of a Jenga movie where it's like everything's building. The house of cards is gonna fall. It's just when,
Mhm.
one bow after another would probably be the runner up, and I wouldn't be upset with that either because again, that movie is just so entertaining
Uh,
across.
I I describe Mario Supreme as like a Jenga movie, but with one battle after another, it's almost like exhausting. What's the word I'm looking for? Exhausting, because like by the end of it, you're like just tired and like holy. Like I'm thinking like from a filmmaking perspective on like the number of places they have to go, the scenes they have to shoot, the camera setups. I'm like that just looks so exhausting. So I wouldn't be surprised. Or I'm rooting for PTA this year. I really hope he gets it, just because that movie is like a feat in filmmaking, in
Yeah,
my
he'll
opinion, at
probably
least.
my guess is he'll probably be the one who gets it just because he feels like kind of like Nolan from a few years
Yeah,
ago with uh, Oppenheimer. Kind of feels like he's due. He's been the one that's been celebrated, nominated multiple times before, and is widely considered in the industry to be one of the best directors working today.
yeah,
So yeah,
for sure.
probably will go to him. I won't be mad if it goes to Josh Safdie. I won't be mad if it goes to Joaquin Trier.
Mhm.
Yeah. So enough
Uh,
said.
let's see. Let's do supporting roles real quick. We got Elle Fanning, Inga Ipsdotter Lilias for Sentimental Value, both of those actresses. We got Amy Madigan from Weapons, Wunmi Mosaka Sinners, and then Tiana Taylor, One Battle After Another. Sam, I have to say, the name Wunmi Mosaka sounds Japanese. In the previous episode, I thought that was the Asian actress in Sinners. I didn't realize it was the other black actress in the
I,
film.
I, I
So
don't think the last name sounds like it could be Japanese, not the first
yeah,
name. So
Wunmi. I
anyway,
don't know. Wunmi does sound like a Asian name to me, quite frankly.
not Japanese
Um,
though. It
I
does.
guess on Japanese, no.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyway,
it's really cool seeing Amy Madigan in this category.
yeah, I think for me, hands down. Again, no real bad nominees in this category, but hands down Amy Madigan, just because it's like, I mean, for people who haven't seen Weapons, close your eyes, cover your ears. But she the whole movie somewhat hinges on her performance.
There's
Like
a point where it does
if she
become that.
was
Yeah,
if she was not convincing in her performance, the movie would fall apart. Like it
yeah,
just would not have the same effect. And she is like genuinely, I think, one of my favorite cinematic villain characters that I've seen.
yep.
Like
I
she's
agree.
just so good at giving off that fake, nicety yet super creepy vibe. I and also
Yeah,
obviously they made, like her wardrobe and stuff memorable as well.
for sure.
Um, yeah,
Uh, now bear with me, but it's almost like I was gonna say it's almost like Heath Ledger with Joker. The performance isn't that great, but it's almost like with the Joker, whenever he's on scene, it's just
can't
all
look
attention
away.
is on him. Yeah,
Yeah.
basically. I feel like with her, it's almost because like in the movie, you're trying to figure out what happens, and then once you find out she's the reason why this is happening, then you're just kind of immersed and just enchanted by her presence. Or I guess mesmerized by her presence. Yeah, would not be upset at all if she gets it. Um,
But you
supporting
have a
actors.
you have another favorite.
No, I think that. I mean, I think it could be anyone really. Maybe not Tiana Taylor. I kind of forget how she's barely in the movie. Quite honestly.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, she's not
I mean,
like bad
Jason.
at
She's
all.
not
She fits the role, but you're right. She's a very relatively small role compared to, you know,
Chase
uh,
Infinity.
yeah, Chase Infinity, who was I think pretty glaring snub as
Yeah,
well, and is
very
much more central to the movie's plot.
much, very much so.
Yeah,
Supporting actors, we got Benicio del Toro and Sean Penn in One Battle After Another, Jacob Elordi in Frankenstein, Delroy Lindo in Sinners, and then Stellan Skarsgård in Sentimental Value. Again, I rewatched One Battle After Another, and I really do think it probably won't go to him just because he's won twice already. But Sean Penn is quite literally like one of the best things to come out and meet his
Yeah, I
sister.
mean, he's in that film. He is the definition of a scenery chewer. Like
Yeah, very
I
caricature.
mean, he just owns the role, and it's not like it's something like, oh, it's like, oh, he was acting like this character. Like, no, he is like a completely different character than
Yeah,
really anything I've seen him play before, which is impressive in its own right. And like, it's just like it's such a memorable character. Like, I would say it could be like considered a little cartoonish, but that's kind of the point of it, is
yeah,
like he's so hilariously bad. Like even to the point where you're just looking at him and being like, man, this guy is just so pathetic despite him,
yeah.
viewing himself as this He-Man and like super masculine figure. Um I think Stellan Skarsgård is really good in Sale Value. Jacob Elordi is good in Frankenstein. Delroy Lindo is good in Sinners. Benicio del Toro, also in One Battle After Another, is good. But yeah, I think if it's not Sean Penn, it's a tragedy.
Yeah, I agree. He does that whole I love that scene where he's like combing his hair, but before he does it, he like gets the comb wet by putting it in his mouth.
Yeah,
It's just moments like that that's just like
it's great. Yeah,
so
and even like
funny.
just the whole. I mean, what for people who haven't seen the film, it will be made clear why. But like his whole thing, where like there's a point in the film where he's walking normal, and then something happens and he's like continually walking with a limp, but it is just like the funniest
Mhm.
possible way you could envision someone walking with a limp. It's
Yeah,
like he's really trying to just tough through it because he's a tough guy, like that's what it comes off of. Not like, oh, he's just toughing through it because it's a limp. It comes off like he's overcompensating, which is kind
yeah.
of
It's cartoon.
encapsulates his character as a whole.
It's cartoonishly evil, but like that's the reason why it works so well. I have a question for you in this next category. It's Best Actress. We got
Yeah,
Jessie Buckley for Hamnet, Rose Byrne, which in If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You,
yeah.
Renate Renzv in Sentimental Value, Emma Stone Begonia, and then Kate Hudson in Song Sung Blue. How was she in that movie? I'm curious because you've seen it, and I really
She's
don't want to see
good.
it.
There are other, I think, performances that would have been better, like more worthy of the nominee. Genuinely, she's not bad at all. She's really good. She's convincing in the role. However, it's not like it goes beyond that. There's nothing like super memorable about the performance, which, with the exception of I Had Legs, I Kick You, I haven't seen, but my guess would be the same. All of the other performances have something like specifically memorable about their performances. And also, I think a big snub, even though I don't think the movie itself was well received, or at least not as well received as I liked it, is Die My Love
Yeah,
with
I was
Jennifer
thinking that.
Lawrence, which
Mhm.
I think is one of Jennifer Lawrence's best performances, and she's had some really good ones before.
Yeah,
And yeah, like I would have taken her over Kate Hudson any day, like not even close in my opinion. So she's not bad. It will, I think, be egregious if she wins over, Emma Stone or really any of them. Frankly,
yeah.
again, I'm guessing I'll agree with Rose Byrne's performance. I doubt I would think it was impressive. So yeah, if anybody in that category wins. Now, curious to you, do you think Emma Stone will pull it out again just because she
Nah,
continually does that?
no. I think she's just. I
Voter
considering where
fatigue.
she's not even that. Well, I maybe I considering like the projects that she's in and like what she's doing for kind of I guess not necessarily independent movies, but like art house cinema. I feel like she's kind of on this path to become like the next Meryl Streep. Just like constantly being recognized, even though if the performance isn't very good.
Yeah.
I will say she has yet to give a mediocre performance. I think she was good in Begonia, but
Yeah.
it is kind of funny that she's on here again because
Yeah, it is. I mean, don't
yeah,
get me wrong, kind of along those points. Like, I genuinely do believe she's the greatest living
mhm.
actress we have today. But just because you're the greatest living doesn't mean your performance was the greatest this year, you know?
Yeah.
So I agree.
I think I know you haven't seen it yet, but I saw it last night. If I had legs, I'd kick you. I
Yeah.
think that's my choice because that's similar to Blue Moon with Ethan Hawke. Kind of this movie exists to kind of showcase Rose Byrne's skills as an
Acting skill.
actress.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the movie heavily lies on her back, and it's like she carries it all the way through because it's about a single mother, not a single mother, but a mother trying to take care of her daughter while her husband's out working, elsewhere in the world, and just kind of like the anxiety that comes with all that. And yeah, it's pretty well handled. I didn't know
Yeah.
this, but Josh Safdie produced that film, which is kind of funny. Just kind of his hands in another project this year in the Academy Awards.
What a tangled web the Safdies weave.
Oh yeah. Okay, we got two more categories. We got performance by an actor in leading role. We got Timothy Chalamet, Marty Supreme, Leo DiCaprio, One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke, Blue Moon, Michael B. Jordan, Sinners, and then Wagner Mora for The Secret Agent. I was gonna say Michael B. Jordan. We kind of talked about him, but you kind of forget that he actually is pretty decent in that role. Uh, yeah, I know it's kind of a gimmick that he's playing two different characters like twin brothers, but he's just so charismatic and suave that he does kind of make that performance work really well. I remember when I first saw this, I'm like, he's kind of the outlier in this category.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, I think Wagner Mora is kind of
Well, I
that
think
now
he's
because
yeah, I agree.
just because I didn't like the movie a
I
whole
think
lot.
I think why there's not like a true blue traditional movie star these days in terms of like somebody shows up just to see that star. Um, he's definitely one of the most charismatic and fun actors working today for sure.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I mean,
Yeah,
most movies he is in is going to be entertaining, and his role is going to be entertaining. So
I think.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say when you see Blue Moon, it's kind of like aside from Wagner Mora, I feel like any of these performances could kind of win. Everyone does give a good performance. I wouldn't be upset if Ethan Hawke wins, honestly, considering that the movie's not the best. But again,
Yeah,
that
his
movie does
performance
kind of
is great. Yeah,
that movie does exist to kind of be like, here, give him an Oscar. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Yeah,
I'll have to see it. Can't speak
yeah,
too much to it. I think for me, it's kind of a toss up between Chalamet and Leo. Like
yeah,
they're both really good and both really kind of push themselves in the role. Um, I think one of our friends had a great review, which won't have as much context for people who are local, but uh, greatest Humboldt or no typical Humboldt County dad
yeah,
representation in relation to Leo's view,
yeah.
and like that is so accurate.
It's
It's kind of crazy. People look up Humboldt County and the culture there, and you're totally get. But
oh, for
um,
sure.
so that and then Marty Supreme, obviously. I mean, the film was great all the way around, but like I mean, it literally fixates on that one character without it
Yeah,
being a good performance. And I personally like one of the things. Some of it's the script, but also the performance. Like there are times where I really empathize with Chalamet's character,
yeah,
Marty. Um, but then it switches to times where it's like, dude, you're a jerk,
yeah,
and you keep asking for it,
yeah.
so I think
It
it's
does.
he did a really good job of like making you go back and forth between empathizing with him and loathing him.
Yeah, it does fluctuate between him being a scumbag to, actually, yeah, sympathizing with him, kind of rooting for his
His
cause to
dream.
become the best
Yeah.
ping pong. Yeah, his dream. There you
Yeah.
go. All right. And last but not least, we got Best Picture. We got
Yeah, we don't
what?
need
We
to
got
talk
10
about
this
that.
year.
That's
Nah, who
that's
cares?
something important.
We got Best Picture, Begonia, F1, Frankenstein, Hamnet, Marty Supreme, One Battle After Another, The Secret Agent, Sentimental Value, Sinners, and Train Dreams. Since our last episode, I saw a few of these again. Like I said, I saw parts of Begonia. I saw One Battle After Another. I saw what else? Sinners. I try to watch Frankenstein, and Frankenstein, I don't know. I think I might lower my review because it's really hard to get through that one again on a second watch.
Mm.
I kind of forget how
Interesting.
boring it is. Yeah,
I disagree, but
at moments, I should say.
well, I'm curious. What's your right now? So I have the only one I haven't seen yet is Train Dreams.
Mhm.
Right now, what is your ranking of the films if of the ones nominated, and you had to choose like which one would be the best one, and then subsequent order? What would you choose, or what would you say?
So you mean go with like all 10 of them? Um,
Yeah.
I would say One Battle being my favorite, then Marty Supreme, maybe Sentimental Value, and then let's see, Begonia and Train Dreams are kind of up there. They'll probably be tied, and then Frankenstein, then Sinners, and then F1, and then Hamnet. I believe is what I would do. Oh, and Secret Agent. I didn't like. Secret Agent's gonna be at the bottom four for sure. But yeah, F1 and Hamnet probably being the worst.
Yeah.
Yeah, of the
So
batches here.
I have myself. I have honestly, it's a coin flip between these two for me: Sam Value and Marty Supreme. I would
Being your favorite?
take either one. Yeah, being my favorite. Just because they're, I mean, they're very different movies, obviously,
hmm
but they're excellent across the board.
I
Um,
kind of want to talk about
yeah.
Train Dreams real quickly because I feel like that's come up a few times. We never even had a chance to talk about it. I know you haven't seen it yet, but that
Well, that's
movie's
why we
kind of
haven't talked about it.
it's pretty good. I
So
the
I've
name
heard.
is
I hear it's
yeah,
even nominated for some awards.
it is. It's very fitting the name Train Dreams because when you see it, it is very dreamlike. There's not really a story, but it just kind of it does follow a logger's life, and it's told in a very almost ethereal way, very dreamlike. Pretty cool. I'm excited for you to see it. It's very
Yeah,
art house.
I'm
Yeah.
very excited for it
Mhm.
too. So absolutely, that one, 100%. I will watch before the Oscars.
Nice.
So I have after Samuel Value and Marty Supreme, Frankenstein, which I know you probably disagree with, but
Yeah.
it's kind of a spectacle movie, and the
Okay.
story is kind of timeless at this point. So it kind of took me by surprise how much I enjoyed it. Um, Very good. One battle after another, spilled a bunch of ink and spent a lot of time talking about that. I mean, enough said. I do think where I'm in the minority with one battle after another, I don't feel like there's something truly transcendent about that film, partially just because of the story. The story is very much, it's just flat out entertaining. It's not there's a few, which kind of sounds crazy given how much of the movie is like political in terms of the plot, but the actual like script of the movie, it's not like it's really trying to comment on politics other than just kind of saying like, oh, look at
Yeah.
this person, isn't that crazy? Look at that person, isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? It's just more kind of like acknowledging the craziness of our time than necessarily
Yeah.
trying to say like this is right, this is wrong. But it's just entertaining, so there's nothing like in the script that makes me think, wow, I went out of that movie just thinking, deeply about some topic. It's more like, oh, this was just really fun. It was a really entertaining film, which is fine. That's the first job of a film, in my opinion, is to be entertaining, and it delivers that in spades. But I do think it's a little overhyped.
Okay.
Hamnet, I like a lot. I like a lot about it, but it takes a while. It's also overhyped because it takes a while to get to kind of the final hour, I would say, which really is what the film hinges on. Very well, makes it feel worth it, but it feels very much like an Oscar bait film.
Yeah.
Uh,
Absolutely.
and then you're probably also disagreeing with this F1, which I agree is predictable. Um, it's very fun. Like it's so well executed, even in its predictability. Like it's hard to hold it against it. It's just a fun movie. I
Okay.
am surprised it's nominated, but there's other
hmm
films in the category, which I think are even worse. So, which I'll get to. Sinners, we've kind of talked about how that's overhyped. Still a fun movie, but definitely feels like they're just kind of want to give Ryan Coogler a nomination now with every film of his.
Yeah.
We're see, but that's just kind of how it feels. Begonia, really surprising that got nominated, especially since it didn't seem to be that well received.
I'm happy it's up there though. You always need like a crazy weird one out there.
Well, that's just because you like the director so much.
I like the movie.
Yeah, the movie's fun. It's entertaining for sure, but it's all right. It's a fun, entertaining movie. It's good, not great. I'll probably never watch it again, to be honest.
Okay.
Secret Agent, we've already talked about that. Yeah. Definitely the most overrated of the bunch. There are 2 other foreign films it sounds like that could have easily been swapped with it if we were just trying to get an extra foreign film in there. Don't understand why it's in there. It's I think the worst pick of the Oscars given the other nominees that were there. Train Dreams I haven't seen yet, so that's by default the last, but I'm sure it's going to be, my guess is it'll probably be in the top 5.
Okay. I think so too. So, I think you'll enjoy quite a bit.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, that's the Oscars.
And that concludes the Oscar nominations. So I think next week or next recording, we're gonna delve into kind of talk about some more of the snubs and also what we kind of consider our best films. Yeah. I think probably like we're go over the major categories. We're not going to get too much into the weeds in the technical categories, but yeah, it should be a fun recording.
Indeed, I kind of heard talking about snubs, and we'll talk about it next week. But I heard someone say on a podcast that Superman should have been in the adapted screenplay category, and I think that would have been a really exciting and fun.
That's not a bad. Yeah, that's not a bad take, honestly. Yeah,
that's a fun consideration. Yeah,
which I mean, I'll get into that. We're saved the conversation for next time.
Let's do it, man. Cool.
All right. Without further ado, that's another episode of Popcorn and Pictures with your host, Sam Karpinski, and your co-host,
Sam
Jose Mendoza.
That's right.
Until next time, break a leg.